Good morning and welcome to Stock Invest, your go-to channel for the latest market updates before the opening bell. Today, we will break down key movements in the futures market, highlight Netflix's recent earnings report, and preview the Michigan consumer sentiment data. United States stock futures are ticking higher this morning, signaling investor optimism as markets prepare for another day of trading. The Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq futures are all showing modest gains, building on yesterday's positive momentum. This positive sentiment is fueled by solid second-quarter earnings reports and encouraging economic data. Despite ongoing concerns about tariffs, the United States economy appears to be holding steady, with signs of resilient growth. Speaking of earnings, Netflix recently released its second-quarter results, surpassing profit estimates, with a diluted earnings per share of $7.19. However, the stock slipped slightly as the results fell short of some lofty analyst expectations. The streaming giant's success was largely driven by the final season of Squid Game, which helped boost revenue projections for the year. Netflix also raised its annual revenue guidance, pointing to a range between $44.8 billion and $45.2 billion. Despite these positive signs, some analysts remain cautious, suggesting the outlook feels conservative and that Netflix's stock is priced for near perfection. The company's efforts to expand with live events and advertising remain key drivers for future growth. Turning to economic indicators, all eyes are on the upcoming University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report. This monthly gauge is expected to show a slight increase in July, with inflation expectations remaining steady around 5%. Consumer sentiment provides valuable insight into how Americans feel about the economy, which can impact spending and investment decisions. Recent data shows retail sales beating forecasts and jobless claims remaining low, signaling a strong economic backdrop. Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller recently weighed in on interest rates, advocating for a quarter-point cut at the upcoming Federal Open Market Committee meeting. He noted that inflationary pressures from tariffs are likely temporary. This cautious approach contrasts with calls from political leaders pushing for faster rate cuts to support the economy. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell continues to emphasize the importance of independent, data-driven policy decisions. In the world of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is on the rise again, hitting above $120,000 in Asian trading hours. This marks its fourth consecutive weekly gain amid positive regulatory developments in the United States. The United States House of Representatives recently passed 3 key bills aimed at establishing a clearer legal framework for digital assets. Among them is the Genius Act, which introduces stringent reserve requirements and audits for stablecoin issuers. Additional legislation like the CLARIT Act seeks to define the regulatory jurisdiction over digital tokens, while the Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency Surveillance State Act restricts the Federal Reserve from issuing a central bank digital currency without congressional approval. Thanks for joining us on Stock Invest this morning. If you found this update helpful, do not forget to press the notification bell so you never miss our pre-market insights and breaking market news.